Hello everyone, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about how we're going to run regression analysis in Excel. So I just pick a very simple and easy example. For example, if you want to predict the weight of people using the height, using age, using genders as variables, so how can we do that? Okay, so in Excel it's very simple and straightforward, but to do so you need to know some basic understandings of regression analysis, or some kind of equations. Okay, so in case that we want to predict something based on one variable, so it means something look like this. So it could be y is equal to ax plus b, where a and b are considered as constant numbers. Okay, so and b, a is a coefficients of x1, which is the variable. So in case that we have only one variable x1. Okay, so it is easy. So for example, if you want to predict the weight based on the height of people, so you can use that equations. Okay, and similarly, just in case that you have two variable, for example, you predict the weight of people using height and age. So then you're going to use y equal to ax1 plus bx2 plus c, which is c, where c is the intercepts in the graph, and x1 and x2 are the variables. Okay, and a and b are the coefficients. Okay, of the variable x1 and x2. Okay, so similarly, just in case you have three variables, and if you have more variables, you can do the same things. Okay, so in this case, I want to just give you three example when you have a regression with one variable, two variable, and three variables. So how can you do that? Okay, so the first one, which is one variable. Okay, very simple, straightforward. But to do so, you need to install some package in your Excel first. Okay, so that is called the analysis tool pack. Okay, so in order to install it, you need to go to your options. Okay, in Excel. Okay, and then you go to add-in. Okay, so on the add-in tabs, you will have the analysis tool packs. Okay, so click on the analysis tool pack, click on go. Okay, so you got this add-in. Okay, so what you're gonna need is the analysis toolpack. So just tick on it. Okay, and hit OK. Here we go. Boom. So there you go. Okay, so you have the analysis toolpack right now because you have this tab, which is data analysis. Okay, data analysis. So that's what you are going to need, and that's what we're going to use. Okay, so how we gonna predict the weight of people using regression analysis with certain variables such as height, age, and genders? So let me show you. Okay, so the first one, let's try with one variable. So we want to predict the weight of people, okay, using the height. Okay, so the question is how many kilos the person is if we know their height, how tall they are. Okay, so that's very simple. Okay, so to do that, what you're going to need is a very simple things to do is to go to data analysis. You go to the not descriptive analysis. Okay, you go to the regression. Okay, and hit OK. So after that, you're going to have this dialog box, okay, where you can input the y-axis, the x-axis, and also the output range. So what you're gonna do is y. Okay, so y range refers to some things that you want to predict. Okay, which is a variable that you want to predict. Okay, so in order to do so, we know that what we want to predict is the weight of people. Okay, so you just hit on this and select the weight. Okay, and second things, we want to predict the weight by using the variable, okay, how tall they are. So what you're going to need is you select this range. Okay, and after that is the question is where you want to provide the output. So I click on the output range. I click on where I want to put it. So let's put it on the age. Okay, H1. and hit OK. So here we go. So after a few seconds, you're gonna get your result, which is the summary input. Okay, so sorry, the summary output. So what is the summary output tell us? Okay, so it tells us about all the R squared, adjusted R squared, the standard errors and observations. So in this case, we have a 10th observation, as you can see, so it's count as 10. Okay, but the things that you need the most is somewhere here. Okay, down here, the coefficients, the intercepts, and the variables. Okay, so in this case, what we know is the intercepts, which is minus 7.7, and the coefficients of the variable x is 42.94. So what you're going to include is to write it in this format, okay, which is this formulas, okay. So which means that you're going to write a, which is the coefficients of the variable, which is this one, and you multiply by the weight, okay, sorry, multiply by the height of people. So for example, if you input the height here, so you can click on that, and plus the intercepts, here we go. So that's what you're going to have. So for example, if the person is 1.6 meters, okay, then the weight is likely to be 61 kg. Okay, so this is a very straightforward and very simple regression analysis that you can predict the weight of people using the height. Okay, so very easy. Okay, so let me write it in a way that is that is simple and not actually simple, but more understandable. Okay, so the weight here, okay, is going to equal to the multiplications of the coefficient multiplied with the height and plus the intercept. Okay, here we go. So this is what you got. Okay, this is what you got. 61 kg. Okay, so for example, if the person is 1.8, so it's going to be heavier. Okay, 69. Okay, so if the person is, for example, 1.5, okay, so then the weight is lower, so it's pretty obvious and simple. Okay, so this is how you're going to predict the weight, okay, based on how tall the people is. Okay, yeah, very simple. So the same thing, for example, if I want to predict based on two variable, which is I want to predict weight by using people's, okay, height and age. So how can I do that? Okay, how can I do that? So it's the same thing, but what we're going to do is we go to the data. We see the data analysis two packs. We go to regressions. We do the same thing. So for this one, we change it to this one. Okay, we want to predict the weight. So by using what? Okay, so by using the height and age. So how tall the peoples and how old they are. Okay, so we select both B and C, okay, which is the range from B2 to C11, and then we provide the output range. So the output range, so let me put it somewhere down here, okay, which makes sure that it doesn't contradicts with the others. Okay, so put it somewhere here and hit OK, boom. So that's what we got. Okay, so the same thing, what we are going to get is the intercepts, okay, the variable 1 and variable 2 coefficients. So that's what we're going to use to write our formulas. Okay, to write our formulas here. So here, in order to predict the weight, what you need is the height, okay, multiply with the coefficients of the variable 1, which is the height, okay, plus the coefficients of variable 2 multiply with the 8, okay, yes. So multiplications, you can do it in y over z, okay, either you use the coefficient first and the height, or the height first and then coefficients. 8 the same thing, so you can use 8 first and then coefficients, or coefficient and then 8. Okay, but do not forget you have to add the intercept, okay, which is this one. Okay, so enter. So that's what we got. Okay, so let's try to predict it. Okay, so for example, if someone is 1.6, okay, and they are, for example, if he or she is 30 years old, so the weight is likely around 55. So that's what we predict. So very simple and straightforward. So that how we use regressions to predict some things. Okay, so we got a point where we use regression analysis to predict with 1 variables or 2 variables. So how about 3 variables? Yeah, so can we do that? Of course. So let's try it. So let me copy this data. Okay, so let's say this one with let's say 3 variables. Okay, 3 variables. Okay, so this time let me delete this. Okay, so we do not get confused. Okay, here we go. Clear this out. Okay, clear this out. Okay, clear this out. Okay, so with 3 variables, so we do quite the same things, but this time it's a bit different, because when we're dealing with regression analysis, we're dealing with quantitative data. Okay, so right now what we have is the weight of people, the height of people, the age of people, but then we want to predict based on genders, because different genders would result different weight. Okay, probably male tend to be heavier than females. So what we're going to do with this type of qualitative data, so then we have to convert it to qualitative, from qualitative data to quantitative data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another columns here. Okay, so let's call it genders and Q. Okay, it's a quantitative data. Okay, so you can put anything. Okay, so let me convert it into numbers format. So for example, we use if statements. If this equal to male, let's say, okay, let's convert it, let quantify it as 1. If not, 0. Okay, so here we go. So whenever whenever the person is males, then it return 1. Whenever the person is female, then it is return 0. So that is how we quantify the data. Okay, so it doesn't matter how big the data is. Okay, so then we can quantify it in this way. So very simple. Okay, so let's do the regression analysis. Okay, let's do the regression analysis. Okay, before I do that, let me give this. Okay, so we want to predict this. Okay, based on the 3 variable. Okay, based on this 3 variable. Okay. Okay, here we go. So let's do it the same thing. So let me go to data analysis. We have this. Okay, let me go to the regressions. Hit OK, and then let me select the weight. Okay, so that's what we want to predict. Okay, and we want to predict by using this variable 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have genders, we have age, we have height. Okay, and the output range, so where we want to put it, so let's put it here. Okay, and then hit OK. So let's see what we can get. Okay, so boom. Okay, simple. Okay, so we have 3 variables. We have coefficients. Okay, and then let's try to write it in equation format. Okay, so this one is equal to the height multiplied with the variable 1 coefficients, okay, plus the age, okay, multiplied with the second coefficients, plus, okay, the genders, okay, multiplied with the last coefficients, and plus at the last is the intercepts. Okay, never forget this intercepts. Okay, hit enter. So that's what we got. So if everything else is 0, then you get these numbers. Okay, but let's try it. For example, someone is 1.6 meters, Okay, so it's likely if we have one variable, this guy probably 46 kg. Okay, but if we input the age, for example, he or she is 30, so the weight is, okay, that's how the weight is. And then let's try to put the genders. If he is a male, then we put 1. So he is likely to be 62 kg. But if, okay, we put 0, which means females, then she's tend to be 54. So very simple. What it tells is male is likely to be heavier than females. Okay. So this is how we do the regression analysis and how we can predict things using different variables. Okay. So the more data point that we have, the more observation we have, the better and the most accurate that we can predict. Okay, so okay, we can try males. Okay, let's try someone is 29, so it's a little bit different, so slightly, very little difference. Okay, so that's how things work, regression analysis. So I hope you guys understand this methods and can use this in real life. Okay, so you have more data, you have more observations. Okay, you can just go and put it and try to predict what's going to happen. So for example, in finance, okay, probably you have different, sets of variables and you want to predict something for budgeting purposes so that you can do it. Okay, for sales team, for marketing teams, probably they want to do customer analytics or sales analytics. So they have different variables such as promotion spendings, okay, customer demographics, okay, and many things that they can use as variable to predict things. And for HR, for example, probably HR want to predict how likely the people leave the company based on different genders, based on how distant they are from the companies, based on how old they are, based on whether they are married or they are single. Okay, so there are many variables that we can plug in and predict things. Okay, and those variables can be numericals, can be qualitative. So in case that is the variable is qualitative, then we have to quantify it. Okay, so we quantify it by using numbers. Okay, it can be binary or it can be more than this. So yeah, I hope you got some ideas and you can do it, okay, with your data. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching from the beginning until the end. So I will put the links below, so then you can download the exercise file to practice at home or practice anything else you like as an ideas, and you can make your days. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching this video and have a good day.